Well, hello, Bearcats. It is midsummer, and I hope everybody's having a nice time. We are here in my garage, and we're getting kind of ready to start the summer year. And quick shout out to Chris McBrayer, who has been building props at his house. He's already got 5 of our props ready to go. Actually, he may have as many as 8 ready to go. And they've been giving up their garage and their free space at their house and their time, and we just wanted to say thank you to the McBrayers for everything that they're doing. In the meantime, I'd like to talk about a little bit of what you're going to do when you come back, especially if you're a wind player. We have a little procedure that we like to go through to see kind of where we left in May. We left everybody in May. We didn't really have any instruments. We've learned a little bit of marching. We kind of taught you a few things. We said go home, take the summer, practice on your instruments. We'll be able to get your instruments out in your hands very soon. Most all the kids have picked up their instruments that were in the band hall. Go home over the summer, practice, and then when we come back, let's see if you have put the two together and to kind of just see where you are. So one of the very first things that we're going to come back is on these administration days on the 30th and the 31st is we're just going to kind of see how you are at marching and playing the instrument at the same time. And we have 4 parts to this this little test that we do. And it's all 2 basic things that everybody should be able to do on their instrument as well. So the very first thing that we're going to watch you guys do is some standard 8 and 8 marching in forward march while playing a concert F. Okay, so we'll go forward march, off and down, then the horn will come back up, da 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 da, forward march, off and down, da da da, the horn will come back up, and we're doing that to block concert Fs. So that's 8 forward, 8 rest, 8 forward, 8 rest. We will do that 3 or 4 times depending on how much room we have wherever we're doing the audition. Alright, sometimes that's in the gym, sometimes it's in the cafeteria, sometimes it's outside. It just depends on how much room we have. Alright, the next part of the test is the same thing in backward march. Okay, so that's pretty. So part 2 is backward march, 8s and 8s, just like we did for forward march. The next one is part 3, is a little bit different. It's a continuous forward march in 16 counts. It's 16 steps forward, continuous, while playing half note concert F. Okay, so every time the left foot hits the ground, you're re-articulating a new half note. So it's going to be half note, half note, half note, half note. Then we go backwards, and then they go into lifted quarter notes. So every time your left foot or your right foot touches the ground, you'll have a lifted quarter note. So we'll go forward 16 and half notes, we will go backward march 16 and quarter notes, and then we'll stop and we'll play a whole note in place, off and down. Okay, so that's the forward into backward march. Okay, and then the last one is box drill number 1. That's hold 8 in place, forward march 16. We'll do concert F, going down to a concert E flat, a concert E natural, I'm sorry. Alright, then we'll rest 8 counts, then we'll do a right slide. We'll go concert F to concert E flat, we'll rest for 8 counts. We'll go backward march, concert F to concert D. We'll do a left slide for 16 counts, concert F to concert D flat, we'll rest for 8 counts, and then we'll hold 8 counts in one place and do a concert F. I have linked all those in both a Word document and on Google Classroom. I've linked all the video files that we did a few years ago, so if you want to watch those video files and kind of do what they do, that's pretty smart to do. Now, a few other tips for success over the summer. I find that half the problem with practicing over the summer is just getting the instrument out of the case. So I would encourage you to get a instrument stand or to leave your instrument in its case, but leave your case open. That can sometimes be a little sketchy, and that's not to be like on the bed. It should be like on a table or a desk or somewhere that's elevated, somewhere that you won't step on your instrument, something like that. But if you leave the case open and you see the instrument and it's put together, it's a heck of a lot more likely that you're going to play the instrument than if it's closed up and put off, in some corner, and your clothes are covering it, and you can't get to it. So if you leave your instrument out with your flip folder or your music out so that you can see it, you'll be 100 times more likely to practice your instrument. Now, over the summer is a wonderful time to get back to the basics. I always enjoyed over the summer practicing scales, and not necessarily practicing just my major scales, but I also like to practice my minor scales and lots of arpeggios of scales, or scales and thirds, or anything that was just a little bit harder than what we did in normal class, and at faster tempos. So let's say our normal tempo in class is like 120 beats. I always like to go home and work at faster, 140, 160, 180, 200, really get my fingers moving on the instrument and increasing my range at the same time. It's a wonderful time in the summer to, again, go back to the basics of your instrument, because we don't get to cover that a lot in our normal classes. The other thing that I like to do is I like to get play along CDs when I was a kid. And so I would get whatever movie was out. So let's say a book came out for in my day, it may have been Return of the Jedi. In your case, it could be The Last Jedi. Whatever was famous or something that I enjoyed watching, there were always some sort of play-along CDs or play-along books so that I could get it. I did a lot of jazz improv stuff, and I had the play-along CD that went along with that. And that was fun. It was something to play with. I missed playing in a band setting, but in these situations, I could play along with the CD player, and it made practicing a heck of a lot more fun. So those are just some things that I would get back to. And then as a saxophonist or as a young musician, I used to just get out there and go to other people's houses, and we would all bring our instruments, and we would all go to somebody's house and just play for a while. So it didn't matter if it was our show music, or if it was our flip folder, or it was these play-along CDs or whatever. We would just go over to someone's house, and everybody would bring their instrument, and we'd have a good time. And so that's another way to just get the instrument on your face a little bit more over the summer and have a good time doing it. So enjoy. A lot of this is posted up to YouTube. A lot of this is posted on Google Classroom. It's obviously in the email too. Have a great summer. We'll see you guys here in about 3 weeks. If you haven't spent any time outside this summer, it's time to start doing that. I want you guys well prepared when you come on the first day of band camp, and that's not your first day to be outside. You need to acclimatize yourself to the heat, and I can promise you that the August heat is going to be it's going to be there, folks. It's going to be there, I promise. And we want to make sure that you get out into the heat not 1 or 2 days before band camp starts, but from now, early June, all the way to late June, that you spend some hours outside, and that you drink lots of water, that you come into band camp well hydrated, because it's going to be a hot summer. We've already felt that, and we know we're in drought conditions, and we know we've already had lots of days over 100 degrees, and that's probably not going to change between now and August. So tips for success to get you ready for band camp, so that when you get to band camp, you can be as successful as you can be. Folks, miss you guys. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your summer. Have a good vacation. If you get a chance, go fishing. Go catch a fish for me. Take care, guys.